We made it to 2021. Some of us have been so eager for 2020 to end in the hope that 2021 has something much better to offer. But before we write off 2020 as the worst year ever, I want to encourage us to consider what kind of a gift it has been to us. Now today is Epiphany Sunday, the first Sunday in the year when we think about the wise men, or the Magi, coming from the east, following a star to Bethlehem, bringing Jesus their gifts. Epiphany itself is always on the 6th of January, which marks the end of Christmas time, the 12 days of Christmas. Now there's been a lot of gifts given and received over the last few weeks, and I wonder what kind of gifts you gave and received this Christmas. Now you'll remember that Jesus received 3 gifts from the Magi. Gold, which represents kingship, frankincense, which represents godliness, and myrrh, which represents death. I hope you didn't receive any myrrh in your stocking, although sometimes we do receive things that we really don't like, or want, or even need. For Jesus, these gifts were both valuable and full of meaning. They were given freely and proclaimed Jesus as human, as God, and also pointed towards his sacrifice. A real mixture of life and death. Maybe that's how you see 2020 as a year. We have been pushed into the corner by a global pandemic, which we didn't want or ask for. And for some, it's been the toughest of years. For others, their situation has meant that it's not been so bad. However way you look at it, 2020 has been a bit like the gift of myrrh to us. It has been marked by many deaths and suffering, physically, emotionally, and mentally. It may have impacted you directly, or maybe you've supported others in their suffering. Some gifts are not wanted, but they can still be good for us. Some of us like a trouble-free life, comfort and joy. Sometimes we experience the very opposite. One thing after another thing after another thing, and we sometimes wonder if we'll even make it through. Maybe 2020 has been a year like that for you. And yet here we are again at the start of another year. We have hopes and dreams to keep us going, and God invites us to trust him again for the year that lies before us, no matter what the gift of 2021 will include. So dare we look back at 2020 and ask, what have we learnt? What did this year of myrrh help us to see? How has the brokenness that we've experienced made us more aware of the brokenness in others? How has our suffering opened doors for us to walk with others who suffer? See, nothing is wasted in God's provision. Now, I don't believe that God causes pandemics and suffering. We are more than capable of doing that ourselves. But I do believe that God can and does use everything that we experience, both good and bad, as an opportunity to help us to learn, to grow, to understand new things, to develop and to change for the better. For me, 2020 has taught me to be more aware of the privilege that I experience because of the colour of my skin and the place that I was born. It's taught me that Black Lives Matter and that it is important to search for truth among lies. It's taught me to appreciate healthcare workers who give so much of their time for the welfare of others. It's taught me to invest in my children's characters, their faith and their values. It's taught me to keep cool under pressure and to be grateful for employment and colleagues. It's taught me to stay healthy through exercise and diet, and to be aware of the impact that my diet has on the world and my own body. It's taught me to listen to what my children teach me, to be grateful for their contribution to the world and to God's plan. What else has 2020 taught me? It's taught me that life was too busy and to make time to be creative, both with others and on my own. It's taught me the importance of friendship and family, how that thin line between those almost disappears when it comes to caring and loving others. 2020 has taught me the importance of trying to understand people who think differently to myself. It's taught me to stand up for those with less power and influence than I have, to behave in ways that reflect truth, life and love. It's taught me that climate change is affecting people all around the world, particularly in Australia and America this year. It's taught me to listen to the words of the hurting and the broken. It's taught me to be intentional in everything I do, and I'm learning to be kind over being right. I'm learning to have flexible plans. I'm learning that sometimes silence is the best response. I don't have to have the last word. 2020 has taught many of us that we are stronger and more capable than we thought. We have learnt that Zoom has a place in life, but we cannot wait to hug our friends and family. We've learnt to wash our hands more than we ever did before, and we are learning to put our mental health higher up our priority list. And I've learnt that people think that toilet roll seems to be the most important thing to stockpile when it comes to a pandemic. I found it really helpful to reflect on what I have learnt this last year, through the trials, the sufferings, when the gift isn't what we wanted or asked for. When the gift is myrrh, there are many things that we can still be thankful for. Now, within the muck of 2020, there is gold. You might need to work hard to find it, but it will be worth finding. When life presents you with gifts that seem broken or something that you would never ask for or want yourself, ask, what can I learn about myself? Is this gift showing me something that I didn't want to see, but I need to see and do something about? Is it spotlighting my brokenness so that the one who makes us whole can do his work? Jesus' gift of himself gives us life, but brought him death. He gave himself for us. A gift that costs us greatly is a gift that brings the most love and healing and hope to others. If we dare to yield to God and his ways, trusting that his plans, not ours, leads to life, then we might know the true gift of myrrh, death, suffering, and brokenness. I feel I have a long way to go, but 2020 has somehow helped me on that journey, and I pray it's helped you too. What does it mean to yield? How do I do it? Do I have to stop, or do I merge into what's already flowing? Do I just let God plant a seed in me and let it keep growing? Or do I stop and see what's coming, hoping I'll make the right choice somehow? What do I do, God? There's so many things always pulling, I get lost and forget which way I was rowing. But when I see your signs and remember that there's something more worth yielding for, something more worth giving my life for, I know the truth's in me and I found something worth fighting for, worth dying for. But I've never cried, Lord, more than when I'm on the floor, on my hands and knees, begging you to please, to hear my pleas. Because this world gets too heavy, and the burden doesn't just hang on my back, it slips into the cracks that have formed over time because this broken soul tries to climb without a harness. This broken soul tries to be someone he's not. This broken soul can't carry the burdens of the world. There's beauty in the brokenness. Someone loves this broken mess. We're stuck safe in our heads. At least that's what we think, until it all caves in or someone breaks the code and walks in. then we're left lingering in a place we can't escape, and we have to accept that it may never be the same. At some point, we have to admit that we don't have it all figured out, and listen to the cries of your heart. Shout, let it out. There's beauty in the brokenness. The one who loves that broken mess is the same one who can put it all back together. He can make it better, heal the wounds that tear in rough weather. He'll fix the locks, reset the clocks, and turn back time to when your doors weren't closed. When do you suppose you'll have enough strength, enough courage to last the length it takes to show that you have nothing? It takes everything to show that you have nothing. And realise that it's when we show we're broken, we share that token, that we become everything He wants us to be. When we finally yield, slow down, stop, look around, we'll remember that we don't actually need to go anywhere. We don't need to do anything, because no matter what you do, or where you go, or how many times you've fallen down, no matter how many times you've dirtied the gown, He loves these bruised, hurting, damaged, anxious, depressed, broken messes, and nothing will change that. No more, no less. So what does it mean to yield? Remember, there's beauty in the brokenness.